This year, 2 states legalized the use of marijuana, not just so-called medical marijuana for people who have a prescription. Colorado and Washington legalized it for anyone 21 or older. Frommer's travel guide predicts Colorado and Washington will now get a lot of tourists from other states.
3, 2, 1.
A few weeks ago, thousands of people gathered in Denver to celebrate Colorado's new law by smoking weed. Well, not Kennedy, this show's special correspondent. She went there to cover the event.
Should the federal government be telling you what to put in your body?
No, not at all.
I'm not going to listen to what the government has to tell me to put in my body, because I'm going to smoke weed.
The government has told us for so long what we can put in our body, and now the people are speaking, and we're saying, no, we're going to make these decisions.
Police search warrant!
But wait a second, the federal government says no, its law takes precedence. The Obama administration has raided more than 200 marijuana dispensaries. This seems odd given that politicians routinely admit they used the drug.
Which of you are ready to admit to having used marijuana in the past? Senator Kerry, yes or no? Yeah. Yes. Edward?
Yes.
I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale.
I inhaled frequently. That was the point.
Do you think he's a hypocrite?
Yes.
Obama, you're a hypocrite.
At this rally, people sold all kinds of marijuana paraphernalia.
What are you selling?
We're actually selling cloud pens. You put your own product in there. You heat it up just enough to combust it. It charges off your cell phone.
High Times magazine hosted the Cannabis Cup, which gives an award to the most potent weed.
There's a competition between like all the new products and everything, and there's going to be a winner.
There were lots of tourists from out of state.
I'm from Oklahoma, so this is pretty cool.
And people smoked weed right in front of the police.
It's illegal to consume marijuana in public. This is clearly in public.
So he says that, but he's standing in front of people who are smoking in public.
Yeah, that's it was funny because he explained that the law was basically written by stoners. It wasn't written by lawyers. And that was Lieutenant Murray's description of it. And he said they didn't put a provision in there where people could smoke marijuana legally outside. So this year's festival was no different than last year's, although everyone was celebrating the legalization.
It was just as illegal.
It was just as illegal to smoke it outside.
But they don't arrest anybody.
They leave that up to individual judgment of various officers. So, you know, he was saying, you could jaywalk, I could arrest you, but I'm probably not going to because I've got bigger things to worry about. Same thing with smoking weed. If you're smoking weed, being mouthy with a police officer, they're going to throw the little bracelets on.
And to be clear, it's legal to possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana, which is about this much for those of you who don't know what an ounce is. This is not weed. That's just something that looks like it. They lit up at 4:20 p.m.
Yeah.
There's this big thing about 4:20. What's that about?
No one really knows exactly. I mean, it might have been an obscure...
It was on April 20th.
Yeah, it is April 20. I mean, 4:20 is stoner code. So if someone says to you, do 4:20, what they're saying is, do you put marijuana into your body and enjoy the wonderful euphoric feelings that follow? And, you know, I don't know if you do. It's not my business. I'm not really interested. But it's code. So on April 20th, there's a big celebration at 4:20 exactly. They had the countdown, and that's when, if you didn't get a contact high, you were an alien with no breathing apparatus.
People think it's the code in the California Penal Code for marijuana busts.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's not.
No.
That 4:20 refers to obstructing entry on public land, and all it is some California high school kids would agree to meet at 4:20 p.m.
Yeah.
And that's become this nationwide myth.
Stoners, man, that's why you gotta love them, because they were all wearing their marijuana clothing. They had little marijuana glasses.
The video shows all these people just being happy, but and people say marijuana is unlike alcohol, it doesn't make people angry. But at that rally, there was a shooting.
Yeah, we spent all day at that rally, and fortunately, when we went to the Cannabis Cup, which was the other rally,
the Cannabis Cup is a contest they also have there. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But what about this shooting?
We left the rally, we came back, and people were streaming out of the park because there's nothing worse than when someone harshes your mellow by a horrible shooting. An event like that creates instant paranoia and, you know, surges of adrenaline. People stormed out of the park, and they're still looking for the suspects.
It was some gang incident, they say.
Yeah, and there were, by the way, there were marijuana brings together many different people from all walks of life. You're talking about, like 70-year-olds who are still holding on to the Grateful Dead dream. You're talking about, 21-year-olds. I'm assuming they were 21. They looked quite young. And, they're experimenting with it for the first time. So it's people from all walks of life. And no one else was violent. I have to say, they were very, very happy for the most part.
You brought up the hypocrisy argument.
Yes.
And this bugs me that Obama, the other presidents, say they've smoked weed, but they arrest people. And President Obama has continued to have raids in states where medical marijuana is legal.
Yes.
200 plus,
yes.
they're still doing it.
Yeah, you have legal growers, people who are registering their plants.
State legal, but the Fed law does take priority.
And, Obama said in 2008 when he ran he wasn't going to use his administration as a tool for justice against states where medical marijuana is legal. He has done the exact opposite, and he has busted so many dispensaries, especially in Northern California. And if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is.
And the cannabis cup you mentioned.
Oh, yes.
What's that?
Well, apparently for the first time, this was a non-medical marijuana growing and consuming competition where people were able to try different types of marijuana, and then they decide what tasted best, what made them feel best. And so the winner was, in the mixed flowers category, it was Platinum Girl Scout Cookies by Private Stock LA. So
that's
good
the
job
name
them.
of some type of weed.
Yeah.
And what strikes me about this legalization movement, it illustrates, as politicians always do, how clueless they are about the beauties of the free market. Washington has appointed a pot czar. They have to, they say, to decide how will the pot come to market. Someone who understands the aspects of weed, harvesting, quality testing, pricing. Don't they understand that if you legalize things, it just happens? I mean, UPS delivers 300 packages a minute. The market just does this.
Yeah, and you'll see with this. I think the more that marijuana is legalized, it's going to be incredibly regulated because there's no facet of our lives that the government won't regulate. So now they're saying, well, this might actually be quite an industry that we can tap into and tax people and spend even more money. So
they want to decide how many growers and stores will there be. Markets work that stuff out.
They absolutely do. And if you let the market decide as far as marijuana, it'll be safer, you'll have better product, and you'll have happier customers, if that's possible.